The Zorth Empire was a sprawling and powerful civilization that spanned across countless star systems. It was a realm of political intrigue, deep-rooted traditions, and the constant struggle for power. The ruling family of the Zorath, the royal bloodline of House Tyros, was both feared and revered across the galaxy. The current emperor, Valas Tyros, had two children, a son and a daughter, both of whom would one day inherit the empire. But there was a problem. One of them was a source of constant chaos. Prince Darius Tyros, the heir to the Zorth throne, was a respected warrior and tactician, known for his calm demeanor, strategic brilliance, and devotion to the empire. His younger sister, Princess Serina, was everything he was not. Bold, rebellious, and unpredictable, Serina had spent her entire life defying authority. She disliked the constraints placed upon her as royalty, often sneaking off to mingle with the common people or engaging in dangerous acts of defiance. The royal court and their father, Emperor Valas, saw her as a liability, a future threat to the stability of the empire. Darius, although loyal to the crown, found himself caught in the middle of the conflict between his rebellious sister and the weight of royal expectations. Their father's harsh disciplinary measures only made matters worse, and Serina's defiance grew stronger with each passing day. But it wasn't until an unexpected event that Darius's life, and the future of the entire Zorth Empire, was forever changed. It began when the Zorth Empire's fleets were ambushed by a coalition of rival factions. The Zorth Empire had long been a symbol of power, but cracks in the Empire's armor had begun to show. The rebels launched a surprise attack, and a massive space battle ensued. Darius, commanding the Zorth fleet, fought bravely, but during the conflict, he was struck down by a catastrophic blow. His ship was damaged, and he was left stranded in the wreckage, unable to communicate with the fleet or return to safety. His life hung in the balance. The moment seemed to stretch out in time. Darius knew that death was imminent. The cold vacuum of space would soon claim him, and the Empire would be left without an heir. But just as hope seemed lost, a human mercenary ship appeared on the fringes of the battle. The mercenary's name was Adrian Cross. He was a man of few words, a skilled fighter, and a soldier without allegiances. He had fought in countless wars across the galaxy, taking on dangerous missions for the highest bidder. When the human mercenary ship detected the wreckage of Darius's vessel, Adrian made a snap decision. He would risk everything to rescue the prince, without knowing who he was or the implications of his actions. Adrian fought his way through the battle, maneuvering his ship past enemy fire and boarding Darius's wrecked vessel. He found the prince unconscious, gravely wounded but alive. Without hesitation, Adrian stabilized Darius's injuries and managed to get him back to the safety of his ship. The two barely escaped the onslaught, with the rebels hot on their trail. In the quiet of the ship, as Adrian tended to his wounds, Darius awoke, his gaze filled with confusion and disbelief. He had been saved, not by an ally, but by a human mercenary. Darius's people had never seen humans as equals, let alone allies. But here he was, owing his life to one. "You saved me," Darius rasped, struggling to sit up. "Why? Who are you?" Adrian regarded him coolly, wiping the blood from his hands. "I'm not in the business of saving people for free, but something about you told me you were worth saving, Prince. The galaxy doesn't need any more dead rulers." Darius was taken aback. He had never encountered a human with such an unflinching sense of duty. His people had always looked down on humans, seeing them as primitive and insignificant in the vast scope of the universe. Yet here was Adrian, who had just risked his life for a prince he had no reason to care for. The two spent the next few days in space, evading enemy forces and making their way to a neutral planet where Darius could recover. It was during this time that the two men began to bond, discussing their different lives, experiences, and the burdens they carried. Darius, though still the prince, felt a sense of camaraderie with Adrian, something he had never experienced before with anyone in his court. Adrian, for his part, had no interest in politics or power. He was a man who lived for survival and independence, but even he saw the potential in Darius. The prince, despite his royal blood, was not the arrogant figure he had expected. He was determined, intelligent, and loyal to his people. But the tension between Darius and his sister, Serina, continued to loom large. While Darius recovered, Serina's rebellion grew bolder. She was now a symbol of defiance in the empire, and her actions threatened to unravel everything Darius had worked for. His father, Emperor Valas, had ordered that Serina be detained, but the princess was far too elusive for any of the royal guards to catch. It was at this moment that Darius made a decision that would stun the galaxy. His father had long insisted that Serina be married off to strengthen the empire's political alliances. But Darius, now understanding the true depth of the empire's problems, saw this as an opportunity to resolve not just the issue of Serina's rebellion, but the larger issue of his own future as ruler. He sent word to Adrian Cross, "I owe you my life. You saved me when no one else would. I wish to repay you for your actions." Adrian had no idea what the prince was getting at. But when he arrived at the royal palace, Darius met him with an unexpected request. "I give you my sister, Serina," Darius said simply, his voice heavy with the weight of the decision. "She has been a thorn in the side of our empire. She needs someone strong, someone who will teach her the value of loyalty and responsibility. I ask that you take her, that you show her the way. In return, I will ensure that the Zorth Empire stands with you, that your name will be remembered for generations." Adrian stood in stunned silence. He had never expected such a request. Darius was offering him not just the life of the rebellious princess, but a chance to change the course of an empire. In that moment, Adrian saw the larger picture. The galaxy was watching, and this act would send shockwaves through the political landscape. A human mercenary, taking the hand of a royal alien princess? It would change everything. Serina, when she learned of her brother's decision, was furious at first, unable to understand why Darius would send her away with a human. But as time passed, she began to see the wisdom in his decision. Adrian treated her with a respect she had never received from her own people, and though their relationship began in hostility, it slowly evolved into something more profound, a partnership forged in the fires of survival and mutual understanding. Together, Adrian and Serina worked to reform the empire, using their combined influence to bring about change. Serina, though once rebellious, learned the value of responsibility and loyalty. Adrian, who had never cared for politics, found himself unexpectedly drawn into the world of power and governance, shaping the future of the galaxy. In the end, their union, the union of a human mercenary and a Zorth princess, became a symbol of unity, bridging the gap between species and transforming the Zorth Empire into a more inclusive and just regime. The galaxy watched in awe as the unexpected partnership between a prince's sacrifice and a human's loyalty stunned the cosmos.